talking about this thing with the Attorney General John Cornyn at the time in 1999, stating that if there's no meetings of the minds between the parties, the individual and the state, there is no contract in place. And as I said, child support is a contract, the best that I understand it, between the individual and the state. The state should be disclosing this. Under most contracts, you have to make it clear. You have to disclose what's going on. You have to, both parties should know what the terms are. And I believe that the state is committing great fraud in this way, and that they're also getting funds from the federal government. I would like to see where the Title 4D funds are being spent. I think we should have a full and detailed accounting. As I see it right now, we have a Title 4D slush fund. And when you have a slush fund and you have a bunch of slushies overseeing the slush fund, you know that there's fraud taking place. You know that there's corruption. I don't know what all of this stuff is because everything is being hidden. It's not very transparent. I've asked for reports, and they give us general reports, but really nobody really knows what's happening with all of these funds, to the best of my knowledge anyway. And I'm not the only one who's asked about this. People that have fought for this, for transparency with Title 4D, they've done a lot more than I have, and we still cannot trace where all the funds are going. And maybe that's intentional. The child support system is a scam. They try to make it sound like it's between a non-custodial and custodial parent, and it's really between a non-custodial parent and the state. It is robbery, it is fraud, and it is robbery. The state is plundering people and acting as if they are providing this service. It's providing employment to a lot of people that maybe could not be employed on their own in the private sector. We're going to be in there, we're going to fight for these people here, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and they're unaccountable to anybody. I've watched it happen. I've watched attorneys go to court, and what I saw was inexcusable behavior. Again, a situation where I went down to see a friend who everybody knew that the whole case was based on paternity fraud. The mother and my friend actually both acknowledged, yes, he's not the father. There was another father. She had been raped, I believe, by somebody. He was the father. He fled to Mexico. The office of the Attorney General, and this was when Attorney General was Greg Abbott, to the best of my knowledge anyway, that as far as I can tell, actually told her to claim that my friend was the father. Why was that? Because when you have somebody who rapes you and runs away to Mexico, there's no money involved. We have to establish paternity. And the way that they established paternity, if I remember correctly, is that they took some money out of his paycheck for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and then they stopped. But that was the way that the Office of the Attorney General established paternity. It was based on fraud. He was not the father. DNA test showed he was not the father. Mother agreed he was not the father. Who protested? The attorney for the Office of the Attorney General. Well, we've established paternity, so he owes all of this money. This is nonsense and garbage. But anyway, one of the friends that I have here, I talked with about this, have no firsthand experience with it. So I wanted to run it by a few people who had firsthand experience. And what one guy said is, Jeff, you've missed something here, because sometimes you are not signing the contract with the government. Your attorney will sign on your behalf. So what you need to do, you need to make very clear and specific to the attorney, I do not sign this. Whether it's adding an email, whether it's, the attorney will say, but you have to sign it. No, you don't have to sign it. And you need to make sure that it's down there that you do not agree to the terms of the child support contract. This is a contract not between you and the mom or between you and the father. It's between you and the state. You do not need to sign this. Or if you do sign it, you say, sign under threat, duress, and coercion. I do not agree to the contents of this document. I am being forced to sign this. This is under protest. I don't know exactly what's going to happen at that point in time, whether I don't know, because I don't know of anybody who's done this, but I've always wondered why people haven't done this, why they haven't said, wait a minute, I'm not going to accept this crap. This is nonsense. This is garbage. And so I don't know what would happen, because the Office of the Attorney General, the legislators will tell you, well, you're under a court order. So in other words, they have a hired hitman, the judge, to be their criminal, their actor, and they can act like, well, we have to just enforce the order. This is a collusion. It's a game. The whole thing is crap. Sorry to put it in those terms, but that's just what it is. But again, my friend said, look, you're not necessarily even the person who signed. In fact, he argued that in front of the Attorney General's attorney. And I watched it, and I do have the video of it as well, in which he was talking. He said, I never signed this. My attorney signed this on my behalf. So he made a very good point that I think we need to keep in mind is that sometimes attorneys will sign the paperwork. You tell them, I do not agree to the child support contract with the state. Get them to disclose their terms. And by the way, it doesn't preclude you from having a private exchange. The state wants it run through the Office of the Attorney General because that is a Title 40 collection agency. And if they do that, they can show to the federal government what a great job they're doing. And the federal government will say, thank you for the great job that you're doing. Here's some money for your state. Here's some money to reimburse for all these people. And here's some additional slush fund money that your slush fund managers can take care of. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Once again, please check this out further. I am not an attorney. I don't have any personal first-hand experience with child support. I've watched the corruption and the crookedness and what I believe is fraud executed by our government, by the attorneys of the Office of the Attorney General. I have watched it within our family court situation. I have watched attorneys slander and lie. I've watched this whole marketing scam take place. And people have now bought into the idea that, oh, child support is for the child. Child support is a cost recuperation program for the state. That's what it is. That's why the contract is between you and the state. And according to Senator John Cornyn, that at the time, Attorney General John Cornyn, if you write down that you signed this under threat, coercion, or duress, because they're going to make you sign it. You've got to sign it. You've got to sign it. Or if you don't sign it, we might take money from you, or we might do this, we might do that. And I've talked with people that have gone through this. So they've signed it under duress, under coercion, under threat, not agreeing with the contract, but not knowing enough to put down there, signed under duress, coercion, or threat. I do not agree with the contents of this document or with this contract. And I don't know if you can actually strike them out. In a lot of instances, when you're doing a contract, you have to initial every page. Or if something gets modified, you cross it out, or you maybe make a change, and you initial it. But again, remember, this is a program that's designed to get federal money from the federal government. It's not looking out for the best interest of the child. 201-107C says that the associate judge is mandated. He shall take any action necessary to maximize Title 4D funds. Texas Family Code 201.107C. That's what it says. That's how hideously evil this system is. We have it in our Texas Family Code, and that's what the judges say, well, I'm just following the Texas Family Code. Our legislators have put this into place. It has been a marketing scam from the beginning. Well, we're just going to go after these deadbeats, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to collect money for the poor suffering person from the deadbeats. And many times the deadbeats are not even the ones that wanted to be divorced against their will, because this is a fraudulent system all the way through, from the beginning to the end. Family law is a joke, and it's a fraud. And that's my opinion about the entire thing. That's it for right now. I will probably, when I have more time, I will speak further about this issue. But that's my opinion about the Title 4D game, chicanery, fraudulent marketing scam that we have in the state of Texas. When people say child support, think cost reduction for the government. Thank you.
I'd like for you to repeat again for me. What do I need to do?
Anything else I can help you with?
I told you I'm not going to get an attorney. I no longer agree to this contract. So you're telling me that...
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Yes. Can you tell me where is my valid signature on that contract?
Sir, you appeared. The order was signed by a judge.
Not by me.
If you don't agree with it, then you need to go seek someone to help you with this. We're not going to do anything in regards to this. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Yeah. So y'all sent me one of those papers like 2 months ago, and it was like $6,000.
Okay.
And in 2 months, it goes up to $31,000.
Okay.
So how did that go from $6,000 to $31,000?
I will give you the pay record. You're able to review this. If you want to consult with someone in regards to this, you can do so.
Do you have an attorney here? Is there an attorney present?
Sir, there's not an attorney here in the office today. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No. So you're telling me that my signature is not on that contract, and who's judge? Which judge is on that?
You're more than welcome to seek out anyone to help you with this, sir, but this is a valid order for us. Is there anything else I can help you
How do you determine if it's a valid order?
It's signed by a judge.
Mhm.
He is a legal judge in the state of Texas. It is signed by a judge. This is a legal order. So it's up to you on what you want to
Is
do.
that the wet ink signature, or is that just a stamped copy?
Sir, you can go seek out a regular order from Ector County if you choose to do so. This is an order signed by a judge that's been filed with the clerk in that county.
Ah.
This is a valid order.
Okay. And just for the record, I sued Judge Billingsley for child exploitation, extortion, theft, and kidnapping.